friends, you have understood the entire science of communication, marketing communication, so to say. Now there is a very important concept called DAGMAR. DAGMAR that you need to be understood. So we will go through this. DAGMAR is an abbreviation. It stands for Defining Advertising Goals for Measured Advertising Result. Please understand the last three words are the crux of it. Measured advertising result. So it brings out among the advertiser the need for making your advertisement measurable. Measurable advertising result is a crux for which the goal needs to be put in such a way. The goal needs to be objective driven and not the subjective driven. So that's where the DAGMAR come into picture. So pioneered by Russell Covey, it helps in establishing a measurable link. That is what I have explained. Monitors and evaluates campaign, advertising effect, etc. over a period of time, and that helps you to control in a way that you do not go too far away, that the damage is done kind of thing. There are 52 goals as such, which has been classified by them, which is having a measurable component in it. So like generate 10% of the lead, or say generate at least generate X number of leads, or create brand awareness, create unaided brand awareness of up to 80%, create aided brand awareness of up to 90%. So that way it gets into defining various advertising goals which are measurable. That's what important aspect of it. Goals may pertain to your sales or a brand image or attributes or attitude change, etc., but they are measurable. That's what the crux of it. Performance on this counts, and projected goal is compared to evaluate the effectiveness. So when you have a goal on one hand which has a measurability in it, it's a two end which is then drives the momentum. So that's where both agency and the advertisers will start aligning better, because both are now bound by that measurability of the goal. Okay. So for effective measurement, you have to follow certain pathways, which is what has been mentioned out here. It starts with awareness, comprehension, conviction, and action. What I want, my friends, you should not get confused with the communication model that you have. Communication model is more to do with the consumer behavior side of it. Here it is about advertising communication side of it. So overall, we are trying to see that we set an objective which is measurable for the advertisement that we release. So with that, we try to understand these three essential areas which I have spoken. So DAGMAR has three parts. So we will take one by one. So first is the define advertising goals. So a good advertising is a result of well-written text, the measurable involving a starting point. So good written point, it is measurable. It is measurable in terms of what is it supposed to get from the target audience. So who's your target audience also should be clear, the time within which the campaign is expecting the result to materialize, and that actually the state of change, which is a result of either you do a advertising survey, etc., or as you said, brand track survey. There are methodology which enables you to see whether the change as expected is happening or not. So it involves also the science of marketing research. You set an advertising goal which improves the certain attributes. So here the goal setting, as you say, is measurable. So here, like say for product awareness. So earlier research that you have done, and you came to know that the product awareness is only 10%. Now you set the marketing or the DAGMAR goal, which is increase the product awareness to 30%. So that's how it goes. Awareness, comprehension, conviction, and action. So that is the second part that we need to understand. I'm going back so that the clarity, the second part of this, and DAGMAR model is three parts. So we understand the second part now. So here the awareness is the crux of it. Awareness only will make consumer think that you have something which is of relevance to him. It may be either through the new product, it may be through a new process. Toasters earlier were not automatic, so it used to lead to the burning of the toast if there is no attention. Later on, they came with the automatic toaster. So even that needs to be communicated. People should be made aware about. I am just explaining you with a simple example. So the target audience should first of all know what you have as a solution. Then comes the comprehension. Comprehension is like, one is an information route. Second is making them know how your product or how this feature that you are providing is solving his problem. So that's how he will comprehend. He will comprehend only if he sees a solution to his problem. When he sees that, he will then read it. He will then try to understand it. So that's a comprehension approach. Second is the conviction. Conviction is a after comprehension, that is after he realizes that there is something that you have which is solving his problem, and he is kind of understood, he has to get into believing it. So believing is a result of the attitude. Now whether you need to know whether the attitude need to be rechanged, whether attitude needs to be mildly upgraded to a better product, etc., or you need a totally new attitude to be developed. So that's what from a non-automatic toaster to an automatic toaster, it is a mild toaster. It is a mild change, but making people take iPill or making people use a pregnancy kit, it's a new attitude that has to come in, Yana. So that's what. So then only the conviction will come. So attitude is everything, as we say in advertising or branding. Conviction will come only when the attitude gets aligned with the communication that you are sending. Then comes the action. Action is like final call to action is left onto the hands of consumers. However, you must persuade him, you must pursue with him to make him take that final call. You must make it easy for him. So that's the action stage that you have to drive yourself, wherein you allow all the rights to him. At the same time, it's not that you leave it loose. So that's what various action oriented communication that you do it, which facilitates consumers one day deciding, let me go to this sale, or let me call, or let me submit my form and get this thing, or let me do this free download first and then try this app or try this product, etc. So that's the action. Okay. Third aspect is a measurability of advertising effectiveness, where measurability can come only when there is a pre-stage awareness is there, then there is an expectation set to it is there. So earlier example which I gave you, product awareness should move from 10% to 30%. So there is a pre-stage you came to know when you did a research that product awareness is to the tune of 10%. Now expectation is you wanted to reach it to the 30%. So that means you are expecting a significant rise in your jump from 10 to 30. Okay. So actual results when entire activity is executed, that will be matched with the set expectations or set goals. So there's set DAGMAR based goal, wherein the measurability is the crux. This may require maybe another set of awareness again. So after the campaign is over, you may have to redo the survey and find it out whether what is the level that you have achieved. So it's a measurement which is again a objective driven. Therefore, the research plays also a critical role. So we come to understand what is the utility of a DAGMAR. Utility of DAGMAR is a single most, if I have to give you the measurability. So measurability led goal setting that comes in is a critical objectivity of utility of it, which requires an objective approach, and therefore it uses scientific tool like research, etc. By the brand guys, so that overall every stakeholders are aligned well, and that will lead to the planner's efforts also towards one particular goal. So that's the beauty of DAGMAR. There are criticisms against DAGMAR. Too much of a reliance on hierarchy of effect theory. So that's what one of the communication models that we have understood theory is a too much of a reliance on that, whether it is IDA or even hierarchy of effects theory. Overall, you say that it heavily relies on the communication theory. Customers do not necessarily pass through that stage, whether it's an IDA model or hierarchy of effects model. There are examples which tells us that it is not necessary for a consumer to pass through that. Say for example, window shopping. Do we pass through that? Maybe not. Okay. Creative focus will shift from developing a unique and effective advertising to quantifiable quantifiable result generating advertising. So both are different. However, there's always a talk between whether advertising is made to sell or advertising is made to communicate. That discussion leaving aside, this is one of the limitation or criticism against DAGMAR.